Going on with y'all, it's y'all fam, Zay Gifted back at y'all with another message. So just today I'm coming on here to let y'all know about my testimony. All what I went through my whole life and then how they led up to the moment to where I'm at right now. You gotta understand that, fam. So I've been going through so much since I was born, since I was a child. You gotta understand the chosen was we were born into a toxic family. We were born into a toxic situation. You gotta understand it. But at the same time, I want to talk about my childhood. So it all started when I was a child. I was just so happy and so energetic. I was always the type to just go out and just explore. Like when I was the child, like grow up and wanting to go and play in the woods, wanting to go far into the woods or just exploring, just to look at nature and different things. I was always the type to be that. Like, you gotta understand that, fam. And when I was younger, my dream was to become a football player, NFL player. I knew I had that dream. I can see past the dream. I can see far. I can see myself into an NFL. You gotta understand that. Chosen ones, when we vision something, when we have a dream, we can see it before it actually even happened. You gotta understand, God placed it into us. You gotta understand. And you know how, like, you go to school and they ask you, like, what you want to be when you grow up. I always say the NFL player or go to the league. I always say, or go to the NBA, because I was good at sports. I love sports because I was, like, always so fast, and they used to call me speedy and this and that. But you gotta understand, fam, when you got that talent, when you got that gift at a young age, you got to understand people that's older than you and that didn't do nothing with their life, people that didn't become the man and woman that they wanted to be, people that's living that average life. You got to understand, when they see that talent and that gift in you at a young age, they going to hate on you. They going to try to shoot your dreams down. They going to try to throw witchcraft and spells all on you so you won't get to that. You got to understand, at a young age, I'm not knowing. I'm just going through the motions. Like, I don't got to have a trainer for me to do the things that I do, bro, because it's just a natural gift from God. God placed that inside of me to where I was put on this earth to break generational curses. I was put on this earth to go to the league and provide for my family, because my family wasn't always the type to be rich. My family not the type to always be having a lot of money. We always got to work low-end jobs and slave for the rest of our life to get what we want, to get what we need. You got to understand that. So I was the type to be that. Like, I always had, like me, see, I was around a lot of people when I was younger, but I'm not knowing my energy, the person who I am. When I'm in people's lives, the people that's around me, they get blessed through me. The people that's in contact with me, they get blessed. And I wonder why I come in contact with people and I just hear all good news or just they got this and that. It's because my energy. And you got to understand that, fam. Like, and then I starting to grow up. I had to grow up at a young age as a man, because you got to understand, I still saw my dad, but my mom and my dad separated. If they never separated, it would be better. But you got to understand, it's like co-parenting. Like, I go see my mom. I'm with my mom and my grandma one week, and then that next week I'm with my dad's family, his side. You got to understand. And I'm not going to put his business out there, but I seen my dad go through the worst. And to where he at right now, it's nothing but God. I want to say it's nothing but God. I'm not going to put his business out there, but I started growing up at a young age, start seeing things like porn videos, because I used to always type to be messy and explore. So when I went up to their house, they had like little CDs, so I put it in. There was a porn video. So you gotta understand, bro. Like, I had to deal with yelling. Like, when I was in the house, I had to deal with yelling. Like, a lot of times I used to get whooped so much when I was younger, because I was always like, you gotta understand, like, I peed in the bed and I counted. I used to keep track of that. I peed in the bed like 30 something times. And every time I peed, I used to get whooped. Cause I guess my mom thought that would teach me a lesson. Like, I used to always get abused or just hated on, because you gotta understand, when I was younger, bro, I had a big gap. That's how I was born. I had a big gap. And I used to smile and not care what people think about my gap. But people used to, every time, like, you know how people do jokes, every time people used to pick on me, they used to be like, oh, I can stick a pencil through your gap and this and that, bro. And not knowing, I'd come back in person with them, not caring and being happy with myself, but they behind my back talking about me and talking about my gap. Like, I was the type of person that like all girls. Like, I used to like all the girls. I used to tell the girls I used to have crushes on them, but they used to reject me so much. They used to misunderstand me and overlook me just because of my gap. But they looking at my outer appearance and not looking at my heart. You gotta understand, God doesn't look at the outer appearance. He looks at the heart. He looks at the inner side. You gotta understand that my heart was so pure and so genuine. Like, I like so many girls, and I just wanted a girlfriend when I was younger. And I was never type to get a girlfriend because of my gap, bro. Like, I used to always get overlooked and misunderstood. Like, and you gotta understand, like I said, when I saw that porn video, because I was the type, like, look, when I was younger, my grandma and my mother, they used to always take pictures of me when I had my suit on, because I was always the type to just smile when I had, like, I used to always be the type to, like, on Sundays, used to get up and get ready to go to church. I used to always have a suit on, ready to go to church, ready to hear the word of the Lord. But I used to always go to sleep, but I still felt the presence. You gotta understand that God been following me my whole life. Like, I was always the type to wanting to wear a suit, wanting to go to church. Like, that's the type of person I was when I was younger. And I didn't know God was gonna call me and to be able to do this, because I was the type of, because I wanted to play sports. You gotta understand, I wanted to go to the league. But you gotta understand, when I was growing up, like I told y'all about that porn, that CD, my life started going downhill at a young age when I was like 13. When I was playing football, like 8th, 7th grade, when people was really starting to notice me for my, like, when people used to really notice me because my name was Speedy, like I was good in football. So I got in trouble. They hit me with I went to court. They hit me with charges. I went to court twice, and I overcame that. It was nothing but God's hand over my life. I overcame that, but I had to do like this group thing. I had to used to like get on this laptop and like do my time. It's basically like a class. You get on class for like 2 hours, and you connect with people that went through the same thing we went through, and they get in the past. I figured because God's hand was over there. Like it was like this group home, and we get on this Zoom class because it was over COVID. So we had to like, but the first time it wasn't COVID. It was, I had to go in person. Like we would do little activities. Like it's like kind of like jail, but you young, and they teach you, like it's like a place where you go and do, because you reaping the cautions for your consequences. Like the actions that I did, I had to take consequences because it was God, nothing but God hand over my life. So like, they didn't send me to jail. They went me to a program, and the program lasts for like a year. And if you do all the requirements that's in that year, then you get to graduate, and you have to do like a big presentation at the end of the graduation. But you still had to tell what you did and stuff, and like how you got here and stuff. And when I did the stuff that I did, I didn't want to tell nobody, because bro, I was so hurt from what happened to me. And like, if I tell people, they'll look at me different. If I would have had told people that, they would look at me different. You gotta understand, business and stuff get around. So like, when people knew what I did, I was thinking like they looked at me different. They used to be like, oh, because I used to hear other people who I didn't even know come to me and tell me things, tell me what I did. And I was like, bro, how do you know that? So I'm like, when one person talk, it gets to a lot of people, and then that person talking, and that person talk. You gotta understand, I did that twice. I got hit with the same charge twice, and it was nothing but God's grace. And I went back to that same program, and I learned my lesson quick. I was like, bro, I can't keep doing this, keep messing up. But you got to understand, things happen for a reason. God knows what the mistakes you're going to make before he even put you on this earth, before you even formed in your mother's womb. It was nothing but his hand over my life. Like, seeing me going to court and having to go through all that, my mama was crying because of what I did. Like, it hurt my family because of what I did. They thought I was going to go to jail. And then my life just kept going downhill. It was great, but the circumstances I was going through wasn't. Like, after all that, 3 years keep going by, I'm still playing sports. It's 8th grade. Bro, this one I took off really in football, bro. It was 8th grade, but I didn't need no trainer. It was just me and God myself. Like, I was just so fast. Like, when I go up my dad's house with my other grandma lived, we used to play football with my cousins and so much. We used to just play football in the yard, because you gotta understand, I couldn't go nowhere. They didn't want me to go nowhere because they didn't want me. My grandma didn't want me to be like the kids. She used to try to take us to the library to try to get us to read books, but it would never work out. You gotta understand, when I wasn't always this godly person, this person who would follow God and all his commandments. I was following God, and I was following the worldly things. You gotta understand that, bro. So then 8th grade, when I told you I really took off in football and stuff, bro, like this is when 8th, 7th grade, because I started playing basketball for the team. Bro, people started hating on me, but they was like acting like they was my friends in my face. That's when I really started getting hated with 7th and 8th grade, because they knew who I was. Middle school. So I was just like being cool with everybody, friends with everybody, not knowing who my really friends is. That's the craziest thing you can ever know, is not knowing who your real friends is. Not knowing who really there for you. You gotta understand that, bro. So like 8th grade, before I was going to high school, I still played for this team called the Bulldogs. It was like a little AAU team before you go to high school. I played that my whole life. So I was playing. This was my MVP year. I got MVP at the end of the season though. We went to the championship and won it, bro. Like, it was this playoff game, and I caught this long pass before halftime. I caught it, was running in, and it was this big safety. He tackled me, and it was like my knee rolled and turned and twisted, And when I tried to get up, bro, I fell back down. I was like, oh no. I tried to get back up again and I just fell back down, gave out. They took me out the game. It was halftime and they kept asking me, oh, is you coming back? You coming back in? They was like, oh, is you coming back? Because they wanted me to play. They needed me, fam. They wanted me to play. So I was like, I can't come back. And bro, when I said I can't come back, they try to call me weak and soft. They try to call me, oh, you don't want to come back, but we was winning. We was winning by only a touchdown. But you got to understand, they wanted me to come back. I couldn't, bro, because at the end of the game, it all lit up. But you got to understand, they wanted me to come back. So I would sit on the bench the whole, like, third and fourth quarter and watching the game. We went into overtime and we lost because they called one of my homeboys' touchdowns back. They called one of his touchdowns back and they cheated us and we lost. So at the end of the game, it was like a week later, I think, I had to go to the, like, bro, no, I didn't go to the emergency as soon. You gotta understand, like, 8th grade. No, I didn't go to the emergency room then, nope. Because look, I played AAU basketball that year too, 8th grade. I mean, yeah, 8th grade. I played basketball that year. So I played for the team. And that's when I got hit with that second court charge I told y'all about, because I did it 2 times. I got hit with that second time, and I got kicked off the football team the 8th grade year. And you got to understand, when we played 7th grade, and I played 7th grade year, we won the championship. When we played 8th grade, when I got off the team, we lost. So I got kicked off the team and this and that, but I got to play basketball. But we lost the championship in basketball, but we won 7th grade year. It was the same team we was playing that we was beating 7th grade, but we lost the 8th grade year. But you got to understand, I got kicked off the team. I still played. And you got to realize, I was still playing on that knee that I hurt. It's all going to add up when I tell you what really happened to me. I was still playing on that knee that I hurt. And like every time I do a wrong move or twist it the wrong way, it'll give out and I had to sit out for a little bit, bro. And people kept calling me weak and soft, not knowing what was really going on with my knee. I only could feel it. I only could feel what's wrong with me. I only know what's wrong with me. But people kept calling me weak and soft. You gotta understand. And I played, and I got invited to the AAU All-Star game for that football. You gotta understand, I caught this long touchdown pass, fam. And my knee gave out. Like, I couldn't even get up and run to the touchdown. I fell, like, short of the end zone and stuff. You got to understand that, fam. Like, I fell short of the end zone, the touchdown. You got to understand that, fam. Because my knee gave out, bro. Like, every sport that I play, everything that I do, and I turned it the wrong way, my knee gave out, bro. And they kept, like I said, people kept calling me soft, saying I'm acting, saying I'm not tough, I need to toughen up. But they never went through this. Remember, when the injury that I'm gonna tell y'all about that I went through, it's not supposed to happen at that young age. You gotta understand, God will make things happen, because he'll see things 10 years down the road. He'll see things. He had another plan for me. You gotta understand, he'll see 10 years down the road, bro. So you gotta understand, fam. 9th grade hit, but you gotta understand, when my 9th grade hit, it was COVID year. So I went to the tryouts for the 9th grade summer workouts. I went to it wasn't tryouts, it was summer workouts, because we was working out and then getting on the team. You gotta understand that. So I went to the summer workouts. We was there for like 20 minutes. We was doing drills, and it was that one drill, like I told y'all, my knee, it'll twist the wrong way. Like I told y'all, if I move it the wrong way, it'll start hurting and hitting me. So it did that. And bro, it's like, bro, I've been going through that from like 2 years to a year, bro. Like everything I do, it'll hurt, bro. But I just kept striving through the pain, trying to get to the college, trying to get to the league, but it never would work out. So after that summer workout, I called my mom. She came and got me. We went to the doctor, or the medical center, and I had to get they told me I had to get they checked it, no, because I had to go 2 times to the medical doctor. That first time they checked it, they were just like, oh, it's nothing major, it's just blood clogged up in her knee and stuff, blood, something, this and that. And I was like, what? So, bruh, later down the road, I kept working, kept doing it, bruh. And no, bruh, it's still not feeling right, so I had to go back again. This time when I went back, I had to go on the MRI, I had to get an x-ray on my knee. And this one, they really told me, so you got to understand, bro, the first time they lied to me. You got to understand, the doctors is not who you want to go to is safe, because they going to lie to you, fam. You better get an x-ray or an MRI to really tell you what's going on, because they can get through the bones, the skin, and all that. You got to understand. So the second time I went, fam, and I got the x-ray and the MRI, that's when they really told me I tore my ACL, and I was like, what? And they was like, And when they said that it was going to be a quick recovery, I thought it was going to be quick. I was going to get back to football, this and that. I had to get surgery. I couldn't play football, so you got to understand that. So I didn't play football in my 9th grade year or my 10th grade year. That's 2 years of high school already gone. So when I start going back to play football, I'm going to be in my junior year. So that's when I'm going to be in varsity. So I had to get surgery, this and that. People kept calling me old. And like when I used to go through, because you got to understand, 9th grade year was COVID year. So like after I got surgery and I started wearing my knee brace and started going back to school, and I had crutches too. Because over the 9th grade year, we was on laptop and I had crutches. I used to cry so much and crawl on the ground because it hurt so much, bro. Because I never had surgery no more. I had to get surgery at the age of 14, 15. Come on now, you tore your ACL at 14, 15. You having to get surgery at 14, 15 because you tore your ACL. Who tore their ACL that young of your age, bro? That's nothing but that's not no coincidence, bro. That's not no coincidence, bro. So I'm wearing my knee brace. I'm wearing my knee brace and I'm wearing my crutches. After COVID year, I went to my 10th grade year and I was wearing crutches in school. And you gotta understand that I was wearing my crutches in school, and they kept saying, "Oh, when you coming back, you quit on us." Cause you gotta understand, the same people that was with me in middle school, they was in me in high school, but it was just more people. So they was like, "Oh, you quit on us, you did this and that," but they not going what I'm going through. They don't know I told them I tore my ACL, and they was like, "How long your recovery?" They said 1 year, because they did say 1 year. But bro, it actually took 2 years, because I told you I couldn't play my 9th or 10th grade year. I didn't come back to my 11th grade year. So you gotta understand that, bro. I overcame that, recovered, because I had to do therapy, physical therapy for like a year and a half, and I passed that. Came back with just doing school. So 11th grade year hit. I actually went to the summer workouts and I played. And like when I was doing the drills, I was doing the same thing as everybody else. No, mind you, I haven't practiced football in 2 years. I haven't played football in 2 years. So when I come back, I'm just thinking of what the drills to do. Like, they telling us what to do, and I'm doing the drills. I'm doing what everybody else do. But every time I do something, they'd be like, "Oh, you messed up." Or they'd be like, and then the one coach, he was like, "Have you ever played football before?" And I was like, "Yeah, I tore my ACL, and I couldn't play my 9th or 10th grade year." And he was like, "Oh, that's why." Because they could see something was wrong with me. Like, but like, I still believed in myself. And like, you got to understand, when the season started, bro, they overlooked me, misunderstood me, didn't want to play me. Like, every time they'd try to put somebody in for the backup corner, they'll overlook me and try to put somebody else over me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just sit on the sideline, bro. You gotta understand, that's the most heartbreaking thing to go through, is people overlooking you, misunderstanding you, rejecting you, and you having to sit on the sideline your whole 11th grade year. When you come back and you thinking you gonna play, you having to watch the whole season from the sideline. I didn't have to watch it from the whole sideline. I only played kickoff. I was grateful for that, because I used to like tackle, because I played corner and receiver when I was really good. But I only played corner when I went to high school. I used to be grateful because I played kickoff, because I go down and tackle them and then get off the sideline, have to watch the whole game to play. But you got to understand that that's the only thing I played my 11th grade year. So I went through that 11th grade year. We got the conference championship, and we lost the second round of the playoffs. So then season come over. I kept procrastinating. Should I run track? Should I do this and that? Because I was so fast, they called me speedy. But I get on the track field and just run, bro. Like, if you watch the movie, I think it's either called Race, Run, or Track, with Jesse Owens in it. And bro, Jesse Owens he didn't, but it was just a natural gift that God gave him to him. All he had to go out there and do was just run. That's all I do, but I don't have to practice, bro, because it's just natural, bro. Like, I just go out there and just run. They'd be like, "Who is this?" But I didn't run track, bro, because it was something that just kept holding me back. So mind you, 12th grade year, after I didn't get no playing time in 11th grade year, I started smoking, doing worldly things, partying, hanging out with like wanting to be gang members. You gotta understand, I was out here trying to do that and stuff, like chasing females, doing all this and that. Females trying to hold me back because they know who I am, they know my life, so they try to hold me back. I'm going through so much trauma, all this and that. So I got a job. I started working at Bojangles my senior year. Because you got to understand, when I was younger, but I didn't have everything that I wanted. I wanted J's, I wanted all this and that, but I was into, like, when I was young, I had like these alligator light-up shoes. I used to love shoes like that, like off-brand little shoes. I didn't have all the perfect shoes. So when I started getting my own money, my own job, and started having to take care of my own self when I was in 12th grade year, I started buying all the stuff that I like and I wanted, like Jordans, Like I started buying my own drip, and that's when people started hating on me. When they saw God start giving me the blessings that he started pouring out blessings, he started giving me everything that I wanted. Cause you gotta understand, when I was living in this world, I wanted the clothes, the cars, I wanted the clothes, the money, the cars, the shoes. I had all that, fam. So you gotta understand, 12th grade year, I played football again, but I'm gonna tell you what happened. Start working at Bojangles. So you gotta understand, bro. Like, females who used to reject me when I was younger, when I had the gap, they started liking me. They started seeing I getting my teeth fixed. They started seeing I'm getting all this money. I'm working. I'm providing for myself. But you got to understand, I didn't have a car. I always had to ride the bus to school, or my mama take me everywhere, because I didn't have a car nor a house. I was still living with my mom when I was senior year. So I had to ride the bus, or either have to get my mom or Uber, bro. That's how it was, bro. Because I can do bad all by myself, bro. If I know nobody else got me, I'm gonna have to provide for myself and do for myself. Like, I have to walk somewhere if I wanted to, bro. Like, for real. So, like, the females who didn't want me back then, when I was having all this and that, and I wasn't nothing, bro, they start coming up to me, and, like, females start coming to me and try to distract me and stuff. They try to send females my way. And you gotta mind you, I started walking through school with, like, 4 homeboys. We used to walk through school and go to our classes. Our classes were the same way. And, like, the hallways used to be so filled, and all eyes, every time I walk in, all eyes used to be on me. Because you got to understand, we was like the cool kids. I used to have my headphones on. We used to have our headphones on, just walking, minding our business, just walking to school, bro. You got to understand, bro. Females used to just, like, all eyes used to be on me. Like, everybody used to like me because I was, like, putting on a fake image. Like, people used to like me because I used to mind my own business, was quiet, bro. And they tried to get in my business and trying to see what I do. And you gotta understand, these females, they used to play both sides. So they'll try to, like, hang out with me and trying to get information off me so they can go back and tell them what I'm doing with my life, what I'm doing, so people can try to compete with me. You gotta understand, people been trying to be in competition with me my whole life, trying to be like me, trying to rock my own wave, how I walk, how I talk, like, people, how I smell. People used to always try to be like me my whole life, bro. And I'm just not realizing that, bro. When God was showing me, I was like, dang, for real, bro. Like, all these people been wanting to see me down, been not seeing me making it at football, so they can feel like they on top of me. You gotta understand, bro, if you a chosen one, can't nobody destiny swap with you. What God had for you, can't no man take it away from you. You gotta understand that, bro. So I started going to summer workouts, bro. It was spring or summer workouts, bro. My 12th grade year, bro. So then I switched to receiver, bro, because I gotta mind you, bro, when I told you I was receiver and corner when I played football, I was good at both, so I went to receiver. I thought it was gonna work out, bro. So I can peep the signs, I can peep energy, I can peep how people move, bro. You gotta understand, when people got favoritism, people gonna like, if you, like, a coach gonna love who they want, no matter what, no matter if they not good or not, they gonna love who they like, so they're not gonna try to put me in. So they was overlooking me, misunderstanding me, doing this and that, rejecting me, bro. And I was like, bro, I'm not feeling this, bro. I'm not about to do the same thing I did my 11th grade year, bro. So I just quit during the spring, bro, because I saw I wasn't gonna get no playing time, bro. And, like, bro, mind you, I only started in 11th grade year, and I didn't get that much playing time, bro. So me going into my 12th grade year, if I don't play no more, I'm not going to get no offers from no colleges. So it was just like, that's done. So I just kept working at Bojangles, McDonald's. I started hitting a lot of females, start smoking, doing this and that, messing with my mental. But you got to understand, I always been myself. Every time I walked out the house, I always took care of how I look, how I smell. That was the biggest thing about me. I always took care of my hygiene. I always like to present myself like the first appearance of somebody seeing me is always pure. Like, they never met somebody like me. That's just how I am, fam. So you gotta understand, I was striving. So you gotta understand, I was working. So you gotta understand, I was getting up at 6, having to get on the bus at like 7:30, be at school, then get through the school over at 2:30. Right after 2:30, at 3 o'clock, I gotta be at work. So mind you, I gotta get on the bus, or my homeboy started taking me home, go home, get ready, then get in my mama car, or if my mama not off, I had to wait on her, then get in her car, go to work, gotta be there in 30 minutes. And then when I get to work, I'm in the kitchen. I gotta do, it's 2 grills. I gotta do the sides. I was working at Bojangles. I gotta do the sides, the 2 grills. I gotta make the sandwiches. I gotta make the chicken, all that chicken, the fries, everything back there, bro. I gotta make that. Mind you, I gotta do that from 3 to 10, because I couldn't work till 11 because I was under the age. So you gotta understand, I had to do that from 3 to 10. And then at the end, I gotta somehow get everything cleaned up, clean both of the grills off, wash all the pots. But mind you, during the day, I gotta filter all the pads down there. It's four filter pads I gotta do. No, it's 2. It was 2. I gotta clean it, scrape it, make sure everything clean down there. Either wash it off, then I gotta change the pads, put it back in there. I gotta filter the top of the thing, like drain the grease, put new grease in. I gotta do all that, and then somehow at the end of the day, I gotta make sure the floor is clean. I gotta make sure my things stock. I gotta make sure everything clean for the people that's coming in the morning. And I gotta do that from 3 to 10. Somehow get out of there by 11. If I wasn't like, I got everything done. Like, mind you, I'm working for a year, striving so hard just to get the stuff that I want, all this and that. And I'm saving my whole life, bro. And it was just one day. No. I'm going to tell you about this. I was smoking. I ain't going to mention her name, but they should know who they is. I used to smoke with this girl, bro. Like, I ain't going to lie. This girl used to pick me up. I used to hit her a few times. Like, we used to do what we do in the car, like this and that. And it was another girl. But I knew she wanted me, but bro, it was just like we was both nervous, so we didn't tell each other, so we not got the chance to do that, bro. We was both nervous and shy, bro, so we never got the chance to do that. But bro, she had a boyfriend, and I used to go over there, bro. And she tried to get back at her boyfriend because her boyfriend cheated on her, so she tried to hang out with me and seemed like she cheating on her boyfriend with me. But all we did was smoke. We never did nothing, but we both wanted to do something, but we never did, bro. Cause I'm not the type of person to try to. Let me stop, bro. Cause like, we used to smoke. I linked with her 3 times, but that 3rd time when I linked with her, fam. No, I linked with her like 5 times, bro. Cause we used to smoke, just chill, have chat conversations, and then it was me and my homeboy, and it was the girl I used to like just snap and talk to, and then she had a friend that he used to talk to, so we linked up with him, and we was smoking, we was talking, we was like, what y'all want to do, what y'all like, everybody went around, what y'all want to do in my life, and I was like, I want to be a CDL driver, because I used to think about, like, my 12th grade year, I used to think about truck driver, CDL just kept coming back, bro. And I didn't know the steps it had to take just to become a CDL driver. It's so much. But you got to understand, we were saying that, she was like, and they was all saying how they all going to college. And I was like, okay, so everybody going to college, but I'm going to be the only one trying to work and do this and that. So then, what happened? Oh, like, bro, when I tell you I used to chase so many girls, but it was this one girl, bro, I used to hit, bro, because, like, I used to Uber. I used to go out my time to spend my hard-working money, what I tell y'all, what I work, just to go over there and see this other girl, to go see her. I used to have to Uber there, then Uber back home, but it was just one night that hit. I remember the date. It was September 2024. Everything crumbled, fam. September 2024, bro. So I Ubered over there. We did what we had to do. Mind you, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I had to Uber back home because she was like, oh, you gotta leave, my dad waking up. So mind you, my Uber, I'm still waiting on my Uber to come and pick up my thing. So I was like, can you Uber me home? And she was like, no. She tried to make up an excuse, but she never could provide for me. But she always wanted my energy and me to spend my money just to come see her. Never did nothing. Let me stop that, because she did. She gave me $20 one time. That's all, bro. But yeah, let me stop that. I had to think about it, bro. But when I wanted to Uber home, she couldn't do that for me, bro. So her dad alarm going off, and I gotta get out the house quick. The Uber still ain't here. Nobody picked up my Uber, and my phone was about to go dead. So I texted the group chat. I was like, this girl just made me walk. I'm walking, and I was sending videos, and I was taking videos, because you gotta understand, I like to create memories, bro. It's just things I do that God put within me. I think it'd be God taking over me and just making me do, so I can look back at it and look back at the memories of how I came through that. Created a video on my phone and did. Mind you, I had to walk home, bro. But my home was like, it took me like an hour to get there, bro. I walked, bro. Like I said, bro, I would do anything if it's for me, bro. I don't care if I had to walk, Uber, this and that, but I don't feel much shame because I'm going through the struggle, because I'm going through this and that, bro. I'm gonna tell you that, bro. And I'm not gonna tell you that, but like I'm the type of person that don't like asking people for nothing, don't like asking people for rides. I'm scared to do all that, bro, because I know, because like it's just not in me to ask people. I don't like handouts. I just like doing things on my own, like getting, like just having to work for what I want, bro. That's just how I am, bro. Walked home. I had to get a plan B, bro, for her, bro. That's when and I worked there. I was still working at Bojangles, so I worked there for like 2 more weeks or a week. And it was just something in me that I kept saying, like, I'm quitting here, bro. I'm quitting here, bro. I'm quitting here. I don't want to do this no more. Because it was getting to my mental. I was working here, then got to deal with females when I go outside of work, deal with money issues, worrying about what I'm going to do with my life. Because you got to understand, I just graduated. Worrying what I'm going to do with my life. Am I going to be a nobody, this and that? Like, I was just worrying about so much, bro. I quit there, bro. And God told me, before you quit, like, I don't want to say that, but at the same time, I feel like quitting the job I'm at right now, bro, because I want to live in a tent. And I want to help people. That's what I want to do. I want to help people. I want to bring people to the light because I went through the fire. So I want to help people get out of their storm, get through their thing. I want to see the world a better place, a positive change. So I want to live in a tent. I don't care about my apartment no more. It get to a point where you don't even want it no more and you still want more. But you understand, like I said, I quit. And that's when God put me in that tent. He set me down. And I started reading my Bible. I started reading the word, started getting back closer with God. I got reborn again. So you got to understand that, fam. I started reading my word. And then I started getting these spiritual videos, these chosen one videos. And I was like, bro, is this a coincidence, bro? I started getting these chosen one videos. God started blessing me with all these people around the world, like strangers, who was telling me what I'm going through. And I was like, bro, I'm going through the exact thing he's saying, bro. Like every video he used to post, bro, his name is Jordan the Chosen One. Everything he posted, I was going through, I used to go through, I went through, bro. And I was like, bro, God been following me my whole life. I've been divinely guided my whole life. So I was like reading my word. That's when everything changed. I started getting a spiritual awakening. I started waking up to the illusions of the world. God just started blessing with people like what's really going on in the world, what the world really pushing, the system, how it's all wicked and this and that. They just wanted to work our whole life enslaved till we get 70, and then we got a few years left under our belt to survive and this and that. Like no, we should not have to slave for the rest of our life, work for somebody else the rest of our life. But you gotta understand that, bro. I started getting a spiritual awakening. I started figuring out about like all the food. I started figuring about like the government, what they pushing. Like I started figuring out about like rent. Like look at this, you pay rent. Why are you paying rent? It's not even really your house. It's not even really your apartment. If you don't pay for it, you lose it. Like what? You pay a car payment. You pay a car insurance. Why do you have to pay for it if you already paid for the car to get the car? Like, you feel me? You get a license and you got to renew it like every 5 years just to keep the license. Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, I started realizing, waking up to everything. This was in 2024 when I lost my job, bro. And you got to understand, I didn't have a job for a month and a half or a month. I started working out in my I didn't have a gym to go to, so I started working out in the house. And my brother used to walk through and see me. He was like, we used to talk in language when we used to nigga, why is you doing that? Like, but we used to talk like that, bro. But like at the same time, he was like, man. And I used to work out. They didn't feel me where I was coming from. My mama used to walk through and see me work out, see me read my Bible, see me look at the chosen one videos, the spiritual videos, and she was like, you need to stop listening to all that, this and that. And I was like, bro. And God started waking me up to the truth. You gotta understand, bro. Some people, your family, your friends, people in the world, not gonna believe what you believe in, even if this is the truth. It's your beliefs. You can't discourage or disgrace somebody because it's your belief, family. You gotta understand that. That's what I believe in. And I started getting wake up to all the illusions, and it's really coming true. It's really the truth, bro. You gotta understand that, bro. Many are called, but a very few are chosen. And God was just the one that He chose. He chose me before He put me in my mother's womb, before I was born. You gotta understand that, fam. So then, finally got a job. You gotta understand, I was in that pit for a month and a half. And then I made my first YouTube video. It was like, I think December or November. Made my first YouTube video, and I was like, repent. And I just got a vision, like God wanted me to, He chose me to lead people to the light. He told me to preach His gospel. He told me to lead more people to Him, lead more souls into Him, because this world is dark. And I'm a light in this very dark world. You gotta understand that, fam. So that's what He told me to do, bro. So like, after a month and a half, after reading my word, like 3 times a day, bro. I used to read my word, go outside, go to sleep. I used to read my word, used to get up, brush my teeth, do all this and that, read my word for like an hour, bro. I was in my word. I was on fire for God. Read my word. Watch a bit of the Chosen Ones video, go to sleep, get back up, read my word, go outside, take my dog out, all this and that. Like, was on fire for Him, bro. Like, you gotta understand that. He just kept giving me more and more downloads, more and more truth. He just kept giving me more and more information, more and more wisdom, knowledge. You gotta understand that. He just kept giving me more and more, and it was just coming in like left and right. After a month and a half went by, I got a job at Walmart. So you gotta understand, I'm gonna tell you what really happened. Like I told you, like when I was younger, I used to get overlooked a lot, misunderstood. So you gotta understand, I had this interview at McDonald's. So they sent me to this other McDonald's, and I went in there, and they knew I had orientation. I already told them. And I was in there before this person. They interviewed the person before me. So they just kept looking at me weird, like, what you here for? And I was like, bro. And I was there for at least 25, 30 minutes. And mind you, I already had the Uber there, bro. I had the Uber there, Uber back, and then Uber there, and then wait on that interview. Like, you got to understand that, bro. I do so much, and I got to do so much just to get a job, just to get this and that. People think I get stuff on serial counters. No, bro. I got to do so much just to get stuff, just to get a job. Like, you got to understand that. They overlooked me, so I Uber back home. And I told my mama, so we went up there, got all rowdy, and they started interviewing me. And then I got a call from Walmart, and they was like, oh, we want you to come in for an interview tomorrow in the morning. Boom, went in that interview, they hired me. Started working at Walmart for like, I was on the temp service for like, because you got to understand, I was on the temp, and we was remodeling the store for like 3 months. So we was doing that. I was on the temp, then they finally hired me on, and I worked from, and I was on the Stock and One team from, it was like at the end of November to April. Because you got to understand that. And I started seeing everything, like demonic spirits, people in the workplace like hating on me, bumping into me on purpose, like just not liking me for no reason. And people will like me, people will hate me because, like, just because I got the light in me, and just because, like, people will hate on you because they'll see how other people like you and treat you. You got to understand, I just seen so much when I was working at Walmart, bro, and it really opened my eyes, bro. Then I got fired, bro, because I got in 2 altercations. Like, people there used to just try to set me up to try to blatantly get me fired. So I got fired from there. And then, bro, mind you, everybody started leaving out my life when I turned my life over to God, when I got reborn again in September, like around that time, September, October, November, like around that time, everybody started looking at me weird, treating me different. People started walking out of my life. Like, everybody who I thought was with me left. Like, just what I wanted to say. Like, the people I thought I can call on when I went in that pit, like, you gotta understand, I was the type of person to give people a job when they needed one. I was the type of people to help people when I didn't even barely had anything to my name, bro. So when I was in that pit, people was like, oh, you got it on your own. They wasn't saying it, but they was like giving out the energy, like, you got it on your own, like, you gotta do this on your own, you gotta do this and that, you gotta figure it out on your own, you on your own. Because they used to hate, because God was pouring out blessings. I had everything that I wanted at that time. Like, they see all the drip I had, they used to see how people treat me, so they used to hate on me. So I had nobody call on. So when I told you I got fired from Walmart, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I got on my knees, bro, because I really love Walmart, bro. The environment, I used to just like helping people with my job that I was doing. I used to always want to be a stalker. Like, at the football field and our CDL and this and that, I was like, I want to be a stalker, bro, because that's easy, bro. So I become a stalker, and then I loved the job, and then I got fired, bro. I got on my knees when I got home after I got fired, bro. But when I told you I got on my knees, and I almost cried, bro. I was hurt, bro, because I love the job, but at the same time, I knew God was going to make a way, so I started working at Arby's. Like, mind you, I put in different applications, and they kept rejecting me. I tried to go to Lowe's. I went to the interview. They rejected me. They didn't want me. Like, mind you, I had different opportunities that I put applications in, and they just didn't look at it and declined it. You got to understand that, fam. So I went to Arby's. And, bro, I can just feel the demonic spirits on people. People bumping into me, people not liking me. And the first day I knew it wasn't for me, because when I first came in, bro, at like 20 minutes after I first came in, I was doing this work, and I got cut. I got cut big time on my hand 2 times, and blood just started dripping. That's when I knew it wasn't for me, bro. It was just like, bro, I was doing this, and I was cleaning this thing out. But it was just like, you can feel people energy on them. They'll tell you to do this, and this is your first day, and then they'll think you would have all thing in motion. They'll think you would probably know everything, bro, because you got to understand, people can see you from afar away, so they think you can do everything on your own. You can feel everything out on your own. And, bro, I cut myself on both hands, and she was like, and I was like, bro, this is my first day. You think I'm supposed to have everything down? So I quit after the first day, bro. Waited. Put more interviews in, got rejected. So now I'm working at McDonald's. And now that I finished my first day yesterday, I'm looking like, bro, I got this thought, but I was like, bro, I want to live in a tent, bro. But I've been thinking about this for a minute, bro, because I've been seeing people do it. God been giving me visions and stuff, and I've been seeing people do it. Now I'm really trying to take the steps now to live in a tent and to do what I was called to do. I told my mom and my grandma and everything. They was like, oh, you want to be homeless? And I was like, you got to understand, bro. Homeless people are not homeless just to be homeless. Some of them are earth angels. Some of them are sent here by God, and they just testing. And God just testing you to see if you're going to overlook them. You got to understand that, bro. And my mom was like, oh, I don't know what you believe in. I don't know what's taking over you right now, but you are talking bogus and out your mind. And I was like, and I'm like, bro, God been telling me, like, the thing that I'm calling you to do, the purpose that I'm calling you for, your family, your friends not gonna get you. And then you gotta understand, I can't let people dictate my life for me, like to go work and slave for a job in a business for the rest of my life. Like, you gotta understand the chosen ones are not meant for the workplace. So I'm like, bro, I wanna live in a tent, just live peace, just live limited, just have my own happiness, just being in my own tent and being homeless. It's not homeless, but you gotta understand, all this is God, bro. And they making us pay for all this, but all this is God, bro. So if I live in a tent, they can't tell me what I can do. What, you gonna take me to jail? Okay. And I'm gonna pray to God. That's who I put my trust in. I don't care. God gonna make a way where there seems to be no way. You gotta understand that. So I wanna live in a tent, bro. Like, and they was like, oh, you talking bogus, you doing this and that. Like, and I was like, bro, nothing taking over me. I was like, I believe, and I trust in, I put my full trust in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the only true and living God. And I was like, Yahusha. You gotta understand that. And then my grandma called me and told me this and that, like, stay at your job, this and that. Like, I was like, bro, I'm not staying at that job for no 6 more months, bro. If I stay at that job for 6 more months, I know how the last jobs did, the last fast food jobs did. It messed with my mental. It made me go crazy. And it would just brought me spiritual D-I-E. It just brought me spiritual D-E-A-T-H. It brought me that. And I didn't know. And then I start becoming spiritual and all this, and I start speaking the truth. Some people was looking at me crazy, like, this nigga spiritual, I need to stay away from him. And then, like, I had a lot of people trying to copy me and do what I do and preach the gospel and doing this and that. You gotta understand, bro, because they know who you are. They know what you was meant to do, so they're gonna try to copy you in everything you do. People try to compete with me. And then you gotta understand, when I was working at Walmart, I didn't tell y'all this, God blessed me with my own apartment. I asked for this, but he blessed me with it. But it comes to a point where, bro, you get what you want. Like, all the materialistic things, the cars, the clothes, the house, this and that. You feel comfortable in the moment. You feel like you like it in the moment. Then down the road, bro, you don't like it no more, bro, because it's not satisfying you, bro. And then you feel like you want more, bro. And I don't want that, bro. I just want to live in a tent and be having not to worry about this and that, bro. And they say you need food and money and this and that to survive. And I was like, bro, no, you don't. If you follow God and put your trust in God, he gonna provide all that for you, bro. And people don't believe that, bro. Like, people just think you need money just to survive, bro. No, you don't, bro. No, you do not, bro. Yeah, bro. So I'm just like wanting to like tell them I don't want to live in this apartment no more. Like, tell the lease people I don't want to live for no more. Decline all my payments and just move all my stuff out and just live in the tent and just preach the gospel and preach to people and tell them, like, what's really going up in this world, how you can better yourself and love yourself. Like, that's what I want to do. That's what I'm here to do. I feel like I just want to serve my purpose and then go home. But yeah, that's my whole life, what I went through in my testimony and stuff. When I was asleep one day, I was talking to God. I was like, God, what are you trying to teach me in this season? What are you trying to talk to me about? What are you trying to, like, tell me in this season? I was like, are you trying to make me tell my testimony? And, bro, you gotta understand, bro, God talks to me, bro. He like click on things, he'll like move things, he'll like, bro, like tap on things to tell you. And I was like, bro, are you wanting me to tell my testimony, what I went through and stuff? And it clicked, and I was like, bro, what? And I was gonna make it that day, but it was just stuff that held me back. I had to go to interviews, I had to work my first day, so I couldn't even do the video. So now I'm doing the video, bro. So yeah, bro, that's just basically what I went through my whole life. Like, it's just like breakdowns, but I can't tell it in deep description, like, but yeah, it's just breakdowns what I went through. I went through so much in my whole life, and now that I'm still here, like, I thought about killing myself sometimes. I thought about suicide. Like, I used to get knives and try to rub it on myself, bro, because, like, the pressure, bro, life hit me so hard, bro. And, like, the stuff I go through, people don't realize. People think I get stuff on peaches and cream. People think I'm all good, but no, they don't know what I really go through. Like, and I get thoughts about killing myself. I used to have thoughts about killing myself. I used to want to kill myself, want to suicide, but you gotta understand, but I gotta do what I gotta do what I came here to do before God take me, or he want to take me where he feel like my time is up. And I just want to do that. I don't want to get to the door and he be like, depart from me, for I never knew you, you work of iniquity. I just want to follow him, bro, because the only thing that you missing in life is God, bro. And I feel like if I'm working this low-end job having to work for 8 hours for somebody and then come home and can't even work 8 hours on myself. I feel like, but that's really taking me away from God. I want to put God all day through my life, bro. And I can hear God's voice more clearly if I'm just out here living in a tent. I can figure out what he want me to do. I can figure out where he want me to go. Like, you got to understand that, fam. Like, and people be looking at you like, oh, you want to be homeless? But yes, I don't care what people think about me because I'm homeless, bro. Now that I look at it now, I don't care what nobody think about me because I'm homeless and living in a tent. It's not your life. It's my life. It's what I want to do. It's how I know what's best for me. I know what I can accomplish by living in a tent, bro. Because if I keep getting put all these distractions, like all this social media and all this and that, and not taking time out for myself, focusing on myself, how am I going to get this done? That's what they want you to do. They want you to fill with distractions so you won't wake up with your true self. You got to understand that, bro. I can go on and talk for hours, bro, about all this and that, bro. But at the same time, I'm going to end it right here, bro, because I know how I can get, bro. But at the same time, that's just my testimony and what I went through, bro. I love y'all. Yahusha loves y'all even more. Just say it, been blessed. We true to this. We're not new to this. A1.